All right. Welcome back to the Daily Close. We're a little bit late with this video, but I think it's for good reason because we're going to be talking about not only our favorite Bitcoin and Ethereum for some classic technical analysis, but we're also going to be talking about the current market conditions. The market's looking very good these days, and so we think there's a lot of things, a lot of projects, a lot of opportunities to look into that you shouldn't miss. So we're going to talk about it here on this video. And of course, you're joined by myself, Crypto-pleb, and the man, the myth, the legend, BASŞD Buddha, right here too. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Loving the market.
Market's good, man. It's a lot of money to make, so it should be a good vid. Right before we just get into it, just recognize that this is not financial advice, so please take it, just as an idea to start your search, do your own research, and then get into the market. I'd also say if you can hit that like button, please subscribe. It helps us out. The bell notification means you can be the first one to know when we got a new video coming up. And comments, we will get back to you. We love the comments, so keep them coming. But without further ado, let's get into the market, and I'll start with Bitcoin. So, coming right to that screen here. All right. So, actually, let me just pull this back up to the weekly here, the highest time frame. But as well known from previous videos, I've also mentioned, and also Goju also mentioned about too with the BTC, so we had a good number of highs coming up, actually right here. In the previous weeks, we're hitting closer to all-time highs, crossed above that, and just came right back down. So now we're hovering around the same kind of space now. So I think if we were to just, yeah, I think we're just above. Yeah, we're still actually trading a little bit above the all-time high. So I mean, I still think this is a bull sign in a sense. I mean, we are staying a little bit more consistently above in the previous weeks. This current week right now, we're looking pretty good because that the top of that wick is filling up. We could even go a little bit higher too. And of course, everyone else who's been following our videos probably recognize, I have my Ichimoku cloud up as well. And yes, we did, from weeks back had a cross down. We've already crossed back up. And although we're a little bit consolidating to the side a bit, I think there is, trading above the green, which is always a very bold sign. It's always a good opportunity that we could be going higher. This trend line I drew here, the resistance seems to be holding on the weekly as well. So I have a good feeling that up is likely the only path we're going to be going. Yeah, same with our volume. Our volume a little bit less than the average here right now. So we might be seeing a big move in either direction. I'm thinking it's going to go up, is the feeling I'm getting right now. Let me just move over down to the daily. So yeah, same with, oh boy, let me just make it a bit more legible here. Yeah. So yeah, just with the daily here, let's just pull it up a bit more on the current timeline. Yeah, I mean, from the previous, obviously September, we were talking about the big highs. I was hooting and hollering about the big all-time highs that we're making, which was definitely glorious, and there was money to be made there. But we did also correct a little bit back down, and we've been kind of consolidating back around that trend line I just drew on the weekly. We're still staying in the spot. RSI, we're just back down below the top part of the RSI here, trading around, looks like it'll be about 59.60 right now. So I mean, we're out of the overbought territory, kind of coming back to even, which is indicative of this consolidation coming here. But I mean, right now, yes, there is. So this is my change line. This is my base line. So when this crosses or converges, it's usually an indication of the market going, a different direction. And so obviously, in the previous days, we had this downturn coming down, which is marked by the change. That's coming back down to our baseline. So if it were to continue going down and were to cross past this baseline, that would be a bearish sign. It would also indicate that we're passing this line of support. But for the past couple of days here, our support has been holding, and we're actually going back up north again too. So perhaps this could also diverge and go back up, something like this. That happens every so now and again, um, where there's an opportunity. Right here, it could have passed back up, but it didn't. So we just stayed down a little bit longer, and then when it crosses up, it truly goes up, which is good. Bollinger Bands as well, we're just right in the middle, right around the 20-day moving averages as well. So with these tops and bottom of the Bollinger Bands coming together, typically we find a move going in one direction or the other. So hopefully, if we just keep moving out to the side and start, slowly picking back up, then we might see a bit more of a bullish move. And BPVR, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of activity in the space, indicative of a, I keep saying indicative, but it's a good sign of the consolidation that's occurring right now, and a little bit less data in the space. We pull it back out, see how much more data we can get in. Yeah, it's about the same. I mean, that's just what we see with all-time highs. Coming back in the space, there's less data to support it, so we just want to see what happens. But I think there's definitely some interest to keep this price moving up. So I'm thinking good about this here. Let me just clean this chart up. I know having as many indicators means that you're a big time trader, but let me take it off so it could be a little less loud. I'm going to move over to the 4-hour here as well, just a bit more of a shorter time frame here as well. All right, so yeah, I mean, oh boy, I mean, this is definitely in this, I guess you could say almost like a channel that we have going on here. Let me see if I can, let's just do this here. So yeah, boy, that does look like, yeah, more or less trading in these, the support and the resistance. We did break out of that. We did slowly break out of that resistance, but we obviously crashed and just kind of kept it down in this space here too. So actually within these, at least on the 4-hour here, I mean, how this next wick closes and maybe the ones after that, if we close above this resistance and then get another one above it to confirm, that's a really good indication that this is going to start rocketing again and going up north. Should be a really good sign. But I mean, at least on the 4-hour chart, it is. Yeah, I mean, this definitely, we had big interest quite recently. We just want to see a bit more volume to push this back up further. Still not on overbought either, so I think there's still room to grow. The Bollinger Bands, yeah, converging again. It's possible that coming up on the top of the Bollinger Band that it could hit right back down, but we're above the 20-day moving average, so that shows that there's definitely interest right now. People think it could go a good direction. Take on the Bollinger Bands for easy visibility. Same here as well. I'm thinking that, yeah, so it looks like, I mean, it's quite hard to see due to how close all the everything's coming together here. But yes, my change line, the blue line, is coming up and crossing slightly above my baseline here again, which is definitely a bullish sign. We were in a bit of a bearish kind of territory with the red, but because we're above that, and if we continue this way and keep above the green, that's also going to be highly bullish, supported by the volume, moving this back up. We shouldn't be kicked too far out if we get too overbought either. So, it's, I think there's more leaning towards a possibility of success, but I mean, you just read this wick here, you do see that there is some sell pressure on this here too. So yeah, within the next 3 hours, as long as people can just jump in and see the opportunity to make some more money off Bitcoin, then we might be able to break past it, but we could also be looking into another small dip as well. Yeah, I think that's just about everything covered. I think, yeah, that's the 1-hour chart, more or less, noting the same thing as well. But we've already crossed on the 1-hour on the change in baseline as well. So that's definitely bullish in the green zone. We're just barely above the 20 days. Just barely above the average on the volume as well too. So just a little bit more interest, a little more people buying in, and I think we can go a bit further. But overall, I say with Bitcoin, I'm bullish. So there's a lot of good things to look at it. If I were a trader, although this is not financial advice. If you're looking to buy in, you might want to probably look for a slight pullback down, um, set a position, and then just set, like I mentioned in the previous video, potentially a one one other kind of trade where you have a stop loss, you also have a limit order, just so that if it does go the other direction, you don't lose too much. And if it goes up, that's good. That's good for you. So that's my part here. I'm going to move it over to BASексD Buddha for some talk on Ethereum.
Thanks, Crypto-pleb.
Yay.
Crypto-pleb. Actually, just one last thing on Bitcoin. I don't know if you want to keep showing your screen.
Yeah, let me show it up.
I can show
There you go.
mine, but yeah, just if you open up if you just show the monthly time frame.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a quite big, because this is the first time Bitcoin closed above its previous high on the monthly.
Yeah.
So for the month of October, you can see that it's closed above the previous high back in, I believe that was
There it is right
May.
there. Right
Another
there,
one
right
for it.
there. Here you go. Here it is right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And as you said, it's very indicative of it's very bullish. So I mean, yeah, a number of people, a lot of Bitcoin analysts and both on-chain and off-chain are looking at Bitcoin going to up to like $450,000 just in this cycle. So I mean, that's, I don't know if that's, over exaggerating. I think definitely six figures. That's definitely no doubt, in my opinion. But
For sure.
good news. I think it's, and as you mentioned, Bitcoin's been consolidating for the past few weeks now, which is great for the altcoin market. You can see Bitcoin dominance slowly go down.
Yeah.
I think we're about like 44 right now. So what that does, it allows for the altcoin, basically altcoin season, right? Alt season to take off.
That's right.
So it's been good.
Exactly. Yeah, this has been going down in the Bitcoin dominance exactly on that point. So yeah, below the Ichimoku cloud shows that clearly, this can probably continue on this trend for a little bit longer with Bitcoin dominance losing out. Like you said, that's good for altcoins.
Yes.
That means more money for us.
So speaking of altcoins, Ethereum being the number one altcoin. I don't know if you want to call it an altcoin, but by definition, it is an altcoin. And I like to look at Ethereum as sort of an indicator for how the rest of the altcoins will perform. So let me just show my screen real quick. And unfortunately, Crypto-pleb has locked me from sharing my screen. Can you?
I just unlocked it.
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
My bad.
You're the man.
Hey.
All right, we're good. We're Gucci. So, on the monthly, very positive, right? I mean, you can't really get anything better than this. So, we've been in a bullish trajectory for months, and I'm not going to go too far deep into that one. We are making consecutive closes on the weekly above previous all-time highs. So this is, and if you look at the stochastics on this one, you can see that it's continuing to basically be in an overbought area, which in a bull run, we need to understand that that's actually quite common, right? So, I mean, you can even see just from, if you're looking at 80 percentile as the overbought area, and even from November 2020, or even back in, I would say, March, cross it back here in February before the March dump, and then a long period here in 2020. And then we're basically stayed in the overbought area on a weekly for how long is this? November 2020 to May 2021. And so it's quite common. Nothing to be alarmed about. I wouldn't expect us to go down. And so this is good. This is good. Shouldn't be too worried about it. And in fact, we should think of it as quite normal. Oops. All right. Volatility is normal. And yeah, the in terms of the RSI, there hasn't been any specific divergences this on August 30th. So we've been in sort of a neutral area, postulating upwards, but nothing too nothing too deeply to look into for that. So on the daily, I want to look at the actual overall trend, right? Because the actual chart looks quite different from Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is consolidating quite sideways after after it made its all-time high back in early September, whereas Ethereum did not actually make its all-time high until just a few weeks ago, end of October, right? So, and ever since then, just these past few weeks, we've been on a very very strong trajectory, and you can see that there's actually not really been a lower high, sorry, a higher low yet. We're just we basically, so look, we're back from July 2021. We went straight up to about 4,000 in September, and then maybe you can consider this a lower high, sorry, lower low, higher low. What am I saying? Higher low. And this is a lower high, but I mean, I would actually, I wouldn't pay too much attention to this. I would actually consider this as the higher low, and this is a higher high. And so, and from September, end of September, we've not had a higher low yet. It's just been straight up. So I would expect to have a pullback at some point. When that's going to take place, I don't know. You know, since we're basically trading above the previous all-time high, and there's not been a lot of historical data, the lower nodes aren't giving much resistance. I could see us actually going up and up until that's probably a good time to use the fibs. Actually, what are we doing? So that's not it. It's on today actually. Previous swing low, swing high. You can see that it's respecting the 0.236 here, where we're at right now, and then you can see that there's this served as the previous high served as support, and so we've been actually respecting the fib quite some time, and I would expect to see another move to the 0.382, which is about 4,767. Let's put this away. 4,767, and then maybe another move up. Now, the thing with the fibs is that the reason why I'm going to go into the actual the golden ratio, but another good reason to play the trades based on the fibs, if you are swing trading. Of course, if you're holding long, then you know I would just keep holding, because ETH has potential to go up even maybe even to like 45K, which is yeah, I know that's about a 10x from now. The conservative theory is that it's going to go to about 20K, 10K definitely, 20K, about 4 or 5x, and then a lot of people are saying it's going to could potentially go to 45K. So you know, you can hold your longs until then. Otherwise, if you want to play the sort of intraday or day trading, swing trading, then I would play out the fibs, because this is what, you know, what the algorithms are actually programmed to do is, you know, they're basically at every point in the fib, they are selling and buying. And so they may front run you, they may actually, you know, try to stop hunt as well, but it'd be important to play these fib lines. I mean, the other approach is to do the, I don't have it on my right hand, the pivot lines, but yeah, I would say use the fibs, just because the algorithms, a lot of these trading firms are using them, and it's not actually people. Of course, you know, us retailers and people are trading, but at the same time, a lot of the price action is done by algorithms. So it's safe to play these lines, and it's quite predictable. You can make quite a bit of money that way. And yeah, so beyond that point, I'm gonna go down to so that's the daily. Just think of any sort of invalidation points here. Let me just take this off. Yeah, so I think obviously, whoops, I'm gonna remove the fib. Sorry, let's take this off. This would be our next line of support, if anything, right? Previous highs, these two points, we could potentially consolidate here in case if we get rejected coming up. I mentioned for 4,700. If you get rejected, we'll probably come back down to around this area with the previous all-time high. And so it depends on how we close on, I would say, 2-day or 3-day. And if we can make consecutive highs. Otherwise, if we go down to maybe a 6-hour, yeah, it's just making sort of higher highs, higher lows consecutively. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. What I'd pay more attention to is actually how Bitcoin is trading, because obviously if it's Bitcoin and the whole market, it does well when Bitcoin is consolidating. But if Bitcoin, there's a liquidation event or some kind of black swan event, we don't I see you laughing, Crypto-pleb. It'd be important to make sure you have a stop loss or a trailing stop, however you want to play it, to make sure that in case we do dip 20%, 30% on Bitcoin, that you're not actually going to lose a lot of money. So yeah, that would be wise. That's on a 6-hour. On the daily, yeah, we're obviously trending above all exponential moving averages. Nothing to look out for here on the divergences on the daily. It's quite normal. It's in sort of bullish control zone. And yeah, let's see something else. So one other indicator I want to look at right now that I haven't done in a while is the TD sequential. And from what I've learned, the TD sequential is actually most effective on a 2-day or 3-day chart. If you go any lower, then it kind of gets hard to really play out well. So because the whole point of a TD sequential is to actually calculate how high and how low things are going compared to previous bars. So as an example, when we drop down from in early May down to ETH's prior low, you can see that I kind of want to show you real quickly how this works. So the TD sequential counts down based on whether the bar actually closes lower than the previous bars, and it has to be I believe it's the third bar prior. So if you look at this one, TD sequential, it's counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then it starts again at 1 because the actual close is lower than a few of the candles prior. Same with this one. This one was higher. This candle on June 3rd also closed higher than a previous candle, so it reset the number. But then every other candle, I believe, is it's supposed to be the third candle prior. So the 5 closed below the 2 over here, so continue the count, and then it goes all the way down to about 9 closing, below 6. And this is when it gets to around 9. You can see the actual colors highlighted as well. It's saying that it's been exhausted, and there's a much more highly likelihood that it's going to reverse after that point. Now, it's not exactly at 9, but it's an indication to basically say watch out and to potentially look out for a reversal. And right after this 9, there was obviously a quick reversal back, but it was kind of I guess it was a fake out. Not much of a fake out, but it did pop back up, kind of a relief bounce, pop back down, and then it moved back up from there. So you could have actually timed the low here back in June and July just on the TD sequential. Now, what we're looking up here, we have consecutive candles all going up, and all the way counting up to 9 on the 3-day chart. Most likely, just on this, you're probably going to get a reversal coming up. Maybe not right away, but it's obviously we're in an overbought area and we're potentially get a lot of the pressures has already been exhausted. So, as I mentioned before, I'm probably going to look at a reversal around 4,700, and then probably trade in this consolidation area, which is a bullish sign. If you go any lower, then obviously that is problematic. Okay, so what else? I talked about trend, bullish trend. Talked about I didn't talk about volatility. Volatility is on the low end here, so we're going to continue the trend. We're not going to see any sort of a quick move or violent move in any other direction. If this goes higher up into the 80s and 90s, and yeah, I'd say us making sort of a violent move up or down, a break up or breakdown. And yes, so that's it on the day, on the 3-day. Daily as well, volatility is quite low. 6-hour volatility is low, and stocks pointing up here on the 4-hour, 1 hour, say 45 as well. So what's it saying? Okay, on the 45-minute, on the 1 hour, you can see that the actual volatility is picking up. We're already in the kind of a bullish area, 75% pointing downwards, trading above the moving average. Yeah, but again, not enough volatility to make any kind of violent move in any direction. So I think we're safe for now. But do keep an eye out if you see any price action with red lines like this. You can actually get this indicator if you just type in BBWP in the function. Sorry, up here, indicators. So I would look out for that and add it because it's a free indicator. There's also some videos online on YouTube as well. You guys can look up just to get more background on these indicators that we use. That's it. I think I'll stop there in terms of ETH.
Indicators are good,
yeah.
man. So I've learned that I've learned that the more indicators you put on, then the better you trade.
Right, the more confused you be.
The algorithm is simple. It's just if you overlay everything where you can't even see the price, you're more likely to make money.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, what I've learned is that a lot of professionals they actually don't use a lot of indicators. I mean, they'll go with support and resistance lines. They'll go with candlestick formation. They'll go with volume, and then maybe go with something like momentum, like stochastics. But they won't use too many indicators because moving averages as well.
Yeah, I think that they really stick to the basics, or not basics, the fundamentals, because for the most part that can lead you in the right direction anyways. But definitely these indicators can also help, illustrate some things you can't readily see just from the fundamentals. And actually when you showed about the TD sequential, I thought that was very, very cool. That's definitely something I'm going to look up on YouTube as well. So
That's good.
We can put some links below for everyone else watching, so you can see where you can pick up some good alpha on how to really set up your chart for success.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we can move on to the next part here. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the market. What are some things you're seeing so far?
Right. So, I mean, if I just even look at that, if I just open up my watch list, depending on the chart, I mean, look at sand. Jesus, Sandbox. Now, we just went over BTC, we just went over ETH, but I think if we can talk briefly about the overall market, because all the altcoins right now is pumping hard. Some more than others, and I think we want to highlight them. So Sandbox in particular, and Sandbox is one of the Metaverse coins, right? Or it's a Metaverse. if we actually look into go into CoinGecko here, you can see that on a 7-day um
Lord have
activity,
mercy.
Jesus, metaverse coins collectively have yeah have increased about 575%. I mean, obviously we have some more other coins that are more outstanding within metaverse. I'll open them up real quickly, but I mean, this is a stark difference compared to everything else, right?
Yeah.
I do want to get into play to earn later because that's also quite related to metaverses. You have here, Mana, Engine, and Sand. But I mean, if we actually look at the metaverse coins,
Which one's winning? Arcana. That's it.
oh God.
Just look
Arcona.
into that.
I've
Just
not
look.
heard about this. This is coin number 870. This is a full-on degen play. I would not. This is
Look
not
at that
financial
market
advice.
cap. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that
27
is.
million. Oh, that's you're bound you're bound to either make it big
Get
or lose a lot of
rugged,
money.
get rugged into
So,
oblivion. But I mean,
as they
look
say,
into it. Do your research.
yeah, as they say, don't invest more than you can't lose. Um, so if you want to do a degen play, it's either like I would say right now metaverse coins or the meme coins, right? Because I mean,
Oh,
Shiba Inu is also has hit mainstream.
everyone just goes with if you put $1,000 in at the beginning of January, how much money would you have? Oh, 517 million. There you go.
It's regrettable, man. I did see it back in March, and I was debating. I was like, should I get in?
It hurts. It hurts. It's best not to think
Yes.
about it.
But I like to play risk on or risk off in most assets, unless I'm highly unless I have high conviction in the actual fundamentals. And Shiba Inu at the time was kind of just new. I mean, yeah, it was in previous bull run as well, but I mean, we didn't have this sort of meme coin frenzy until this bull run. So it was kind of a full on degen play.
That's a bit different to me. I'm full risk on. That's why I loved getting into Titan, which so secretly had a big old ruggy. So
That was a what was it called, a bank run, wasn't it?
yeah, it's
Titan.
a bank run. Yeah, that's right. That's fair.
That was a
It is a bank run. Oh boy, that was I did make some good money though. That was a good degen play.
what was the APY again?
I'm talking billions, bro.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't API
Thank
was
God.
billions, and we
I
see
wonder how
that's like
much Mark Cuban made in that because he was one of the first to get in.
he probably made so much money. I mean, I mean, when you see API go up that high, you're like, this is not sustainable. Exit stage left immediately. Took some
Yeah.
profit and then it crashed. So that was like a day later too. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have the capital, yield farming is like probably the safest and the less the least risky approach to making money in this market. And you can get some sizable returns on them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ohm, Spell, Time, all these, all the ones that are actually quite popular right now. So yeah, going back into the metaverse coins, I just want to say, I mean, yes, these are the sort of the 7-day price action percentages. I mean, it's not in this one right now, but be careful of leverage. But I would say overall the market is very healthy, and probably a great time to make some gains.
Yeah.
The other category I was thinking about looking into is play to earn because it does overlap with metaverse, right?
Yeah.
So Decentraland, Axie Infinity.
That's big. Axie Infinity's been having a good one for a while now. I think it's
It has.
kind of
Has.
consolidating a bit, but I mean it's bound to start making some moves. Yeah,
Um,
that's well trusted. Really loved in the Philippines apparently. So very good.
Gamey. Yeah, I mean, in a traditional market, 50%. I mean, this is insane, right?
Traditional finance has nothing on this.
So I remember looking into Rev. I talked about Rev in a previous video. Exceed Me is good as well. And Axie Infinity right here.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously this is what, about 8.5 billion in market cap. It ranked 25. Well, I wouldn't personally. It's pretty far up now,
Yep.
and what we should do isn't get into Axie Infinity, but we should look at other projects that have the same kind of potential. And it's as I say, what was it called? I forgot the right term, but Metcalfe's law, right? The network effect.
Yep.
The reason why Axie Infinity pumped as much as it did is because of the number of users that they were able to adopt. And if you have that same kind of adoption in any other of these projects like Decentraland, it's just gonna fly. Let me just go back to, what was it, Metaverse coins. If you go back to the Sandbox, Sandbox is only 73 right now. It's only at a $2.5 billion market cap. One thing about Sandbox I do want to highlight here is that I was reading an article earlier, just came up 5 hours ago, but it's getting some serious attention. Obviously we have the infamous SoftBank Vision Fund.
Yeah, look at that.
They led the actual Series B round.
Got their hand in everything.
They do. I'm surprised. What's that guy's name again?
Son, I think.
Yeah, Son.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's still afloat. I mean, at least I know there were some bad investments.
What was it? Oil and
It was oil, and the other one of those community like workspaces, WeWork.
WeWork. That's it. Oh my goodness.
That was right when COVID hit. Oh, that was not good.
Oil's still hiring apparently. So I mean, it's not.
Yeah, Oil's all right. Oil's right. I think WeWork was also highly valued. Was valued quite high before it was looking to do an IPO, and then there was a bunch of contentious opinions about that, because it's just a community space. Like, how can that possibly be so innovative?
Was it like Adam Newman? Was it the CEO or the?
I don't know the name.
I remember. Yeah, a whole lot of crazies. Yeah.
But going back to SoftBank here, it's not SoftBank, sorry, Sandbox. So this was a Series B round. Now in total, so in this Series B round, they raised about 93 million. From other, hold on, I'll raise one. So yeah, right, with the participants, Animoca Brands is actually a parent company, but True Global Ventures, Galaxy Interactive, SCB, Polygon Studios, and Samsung Next. I mean, Sandbox, I think, is getting a lot more attention, even more than and Decentraland. We did a video about it a few weeks ago. So if you guys can, one of these, you can probably click a link and see one of our older videos. We talked about Sandbox and Decentraland, but Metaverse, especially after Mark Zuckerberg made that announcement saying that Facebook's going to change the name to Meta, and there's a whole sort of influx of cash going into the space. It's always been the case, but I think it was more prominent now, and I think there's been a lot of hype around it just because Facebook sort of is making this pivot. And one thing about Sandbox in particular, I think, is they have a lot of sort of, I want to say, partnerships or collaborations. So for example, like Sandbox right here is known for partnerships with over 165 brands. Snoop Dogg, I know he's quite heavily involved in Sandbox. I think he owns a bunch of land, and he's his own sort of like area, his own space in there. The Walking Dead, Smurfs, Care Bears, Atari, CryptoKitties. Other companies have actually bought land. KNX, our mate, has also purchased some Sandbox way early on. So always ahead of the game, man. He's always ahead of the game. But yeah, so Bored Ape Yacht Club as a company, Socios, Winklevoss, they bought digital land in the Metaverse and the Sandbox, knowing that one, the actual land is limited. So it's like buying, we talked about in previous videos, but it's like buying a piece of New York, Manhattan, when it was only just like a few $100. Yeah. So in total, I believe, Animoca doubles their valuation to 2.2 billion. Now, if you juxtapose this with how much money Mark Zuckerberg is and Facebook is adding into investing in their metaverse, last I heard is only a few like tens of millions. It was actually not much.
Let's
So
go.
they're thinking about competing with, Facebook is a centralized. They would end up being a centralized metaverse, whereas Decentraland, Sandbox, etc., would be decentralized, right? And yet, and we're also not we're also, but collectively, yeah, I support Sandbox.
Yeah.
But Sandbox and Decentraland are aiming to be decentralized, so and put in a lot more money than Facebook is, and I think they have a head start. I think Sandbox in particular is going to grow in consistent with its adoption. So I think it's one specific coin to really look out for. I know it's made a massive run, but again, the market cap is still 2.5 billion, and I would look to get in. I would look to make a few swing trades. If you want to do a long-term trade on that, that'd be good too. Just remember, buy low, sell high,
And the
take
most
profit.
important part here, definitely. If you do the other way around, you're gonna lose money. So it's crucial.
Yeah. Maybe the last thing. Oh, did I just stop? Oh, sorry. I actually just stopped my video on accident.
You're back.
One last thing I wanted to show was a tweet I was reading about from Ansem, and it's talking about how in this bull run we had NFTs pump, we had L1s pump, derivatives pump, DeFi 2.0 pumped, L1s have pumped very well, and then metaverse coins, meme coins have pumped. So we're looking for what will potentially come next. People are talking about layer twos, dark.
Captures the sentiment of the market.
It's yeah. So I still think it's a sort of a metaverse season. But again, I think the best way to make money in this market or in the industry is to follow the narrative and make sure you are ahead of the narrative before everyone else. So just keep your finger on the pulse and make sure you're staying on top of it on Twitter, following the right people, making sure you are getting ahead of it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I always find people who spend more time in the market, more time researching and keeping on the pulse. Those are the people who usually make more money, more so than the people who try to get it off one quick pick and eating some money in. So the more you participate in the space, more money you're going to make. So that's definitely good advice.
Right. I mean, the Polkadot crowd loan is supposed to take place early this month. So, you're probably going to see. Actually, it already happened.
Yeah.
Polkadot made a massive run. Just a few, yeah. Percentage wise, I mean, this is like what?
Oh boy.
At least about 25% up.
Yep. Yeah, that looks about right. I think I should.
Especially with this kind of market cap. Look, it's at 54 billion.
My goodness. It's hard for it to go up, but like with that much increase at that value, that's insane.
Yeah. Right. They need to purchase Polkadot. They need to actually purchase the dot token in order to participate in the crowd loan. So again, if you knew that ahead of time and you bought the rumor, you can basically sell it on the event. That's another way to make money.
Yeah. That's quality. It's quality. All right. Well, I think that basically covers everything here. We talked about Bitcoin, we talked about Ethereum. BASXD Buddha took us through some good opportunities to find some money in the metaverse, along with in our gaming tokens, our play to earn tokens here as well. Sandbox is making some big moves. I think it's going to continue. Sandbox, Central Land are continue to beat whatever Facebook, sorry, Meta might think it might come through with. So we're definitely forever bullish on decentralized assets. But just for everyone else who's been watching my videos, just remember that stay in the market, pay attention. This is a great opportunity to make a lot more money. You can learn more about ways to make what kind of projects would be good to look into and what might be some good money makers. If you like and subscribe to our channel, if you definitely give us a comment, we can also help you look into projects of interest. we love kind of interaction. We'll always pay it back. But just remember, this is not financial advice. So please do your own research, pair it with research that we do, but never just follow because you may get burned if you're not careful. And it is your money, it's your responsibility. So without further ado, we all thank you here at the Daily Close, and we'll see you guys on another day next week. But may the pump be with y'all.
Thank you. May the pump be with you.
Perpetuity.